There is a shinobi method so ancient and so quietly powerful that its practitioners were said to walk through chaos as if it were mist. They called it Kage no Kokyu, the breath of shadows, a technique designed not for battle, but for the battlefield inside the mind. Unlike the loud and forceful discipline of samurai, the shinobi relied on stillness, subtlety, and the mastery of inner silence. Kaito, a young and gifted shinobi apprentice, struggled with this more than anything else. His body was quick, his reflexes sharp, his senses tuned. But his mind was a storm. Thoughts collided like clashing blades. Every mistake replayed itself. Every fear grew teeth. Every tomorrow felt heavier than today. And no matter how hard he trained, nothing was louder than the noise inside his head. One night, after mission almost failed because he hesitated at the worst possible moment, Kaito sought out the old master who lived beyond the training grounds, a man rumored to have survived 100 battles without ever raising his sword. The master listened without interrupting, his face calm as still water. When Kaito finished, the master handed him a blank wooden mask. Kaito frowned. A mask? I came for technique. The master shook his head. You are already wearing 1,000 masks. This one will help you remove them. That night, sitting by a quiet river, Kaito wore the mask and tried to meditate. But the silence did not calm him. It exposed him. Every fear, every regret, every thought he had pushed aside came roaring back. Only then did he realize the world wasn't creating his chaos. He was feeding it. And his journey into the shadows was only beginning. At dawn, Kaito returned to the old master. The forest around the hut was silent except for the rustle of bamboo, bending gracefully with each passing breeze. The master stood with his hands folded calmly behind his back. Last night, he said, you met the true source of your chaos. Not the world, not the missions, not the danger, but the noise you create in response to them. Kaito lowered his head. I couldn't silence it. You were not meant to, the master replied. You were meant to see it. The master led him deeper into the bamboo grove, stopping before a single smooth stone placed on the ground. This stone is your mind. It only feels disturbed when struck. Kaito watched as the master gently tapped the stone with his finger. Tiny vibrations moved across its surface. Your thoughts are just taps, the master said. Harmless, unless you chase them. He motioned for Kaito to sit. Now observe your thoughts the way the stone observed the wind. Kaito closed his eyes. Immediately the noise surged, worries, memories, the pressure of expectation. He clenched his jaw in frustration. Let them pass, the master whispered. You are the witness, not the prisoner. Slowly, Kaito loosened his grip on each thought. Instead of pushing them away, he allowed them to drift like fallen leaves carried by water. Minutes stretched. Then something subtle shifted. The thoughts didn't disappear, but they lost their weight. Kaito opened his eyes. I feel space. The master nodded. This is the first step of the shinobi method, to see without grabbing. But there were still deeper shadows to explore. For the next several days, the master had Kaito train in silence. No instructions, no lectures, only the bamboo forest, the shifting wind, and the weight of his own mind. Kaito sat for hours each day, letting thoughts rise and fall like waves. It was uncomfortable. It was frustrating. But slowly, a different kind of awareness began to form inside him. On the 4th morning, the master placed a candle before him. Your mind is this flame, he said. Kaito watched the small flame tremble. When the wind is strong, the master continued, the flame cannot stand. But when the wind becomes gentle, even the smallest flame fills the entire room. Kaito felt the lesson before he understood it. How do I calm the wind? He asked. The master placed a hand on Kaito's chest. Hey, not hey. He tapped Kaito's forehead. He instructed Kaito to inhale deeply through his nose, slowly, deliberately, as if drawing breath from the ground itself. Now exhale, the master said. Release the world from your shoulders. Kaito repeated the breath again. And again. Something inside him softened, just a little. The thoughts were still there, but they no longer slammed into each other. They drifted. They spaced themselves out. The chaos that once felt like a storm began to feel like passing weather. This The master said, is the second shinobi principle: guide the breath, and the breath will guide the mind. Kaito realized then that the noise had never been the enemy. His fear of the noise was. And only one final lesson remained, the deepest of the shinobi method. In the final day of training, the master led Kaito to the highest ridge overlooking the forest. The clouds rolled beneath them like slow-moving waves. The world felt impossibly still, yet alive. Kaito sensed that the last lesson would not be taught in words. The master placed a wooden practice blade into Kaito's hands. You fear the chaos, he said, because you fear losing control. Kaito tightened his grip. Isn't control essential for shinobi? The master shook his head. Control is a cage when held too tightly. The unbreakable mind is not the one trying to control everything, but the one that cannot be controlled by anything. He stepped back. Show me your mind. Kaito raised the blade. Memories rushed in. His failures, his mistakes, every moment he hesitated, every thought that had once drowned him. The familiar storm tried to rise. But this time, Kaito didn't fight it. He observed it. He breathed through it. And he let it pass like wind brushing past his face. His stance softened, not weak, but fluid. His breath deepened, not forced, but alive. The noise faded, not because it vanished, but because it no longer had roots in him. The master circled him quietly. What do you feel? He asked. Kaito lowered the blade. Nothing, yet everything. The world is loud, but I am not inside it. I am beside it. The master smiled faintly. Then you have learned the final shinobi principle. Do not silence the world. Silence your reaction to it. That is a silent blade. For the first time in his life, Kaito felt a calm that did not wobble when touched, a stillness that did not shatter when challenged, an awareness that remained unbroken even when thoughts moved inside him. He understood now. The goal was never to remove chaos, but to move like a shadow through it. As he descended the mountain, the world looked the same, busy, unpredictable, loud. But something fundamental had changed. Not the world, not the noise. Kaito. When chaos tried to rise, he breathed. When thoughts rushed forward, he stepped aside. When life shook him, he returned to the still point he had discovered within. And in that quiet center, he found an unshakable truth. Chaos is loud, but the mind that sees without gripping, the mind that breathes without fear, the mind that stands beside the storm instead of inside it, that mind becomes unbreakable.